Retell AI just dropped one of its most game-changing features yet. It's called Conductor. Conductor allows you to build, test, and refine voice agents all with just plain English. So instead of clicking through every single setting, configuration, building the prompts, you just describe what you want, and Conductor is able to build, test, and refine that agent all automatically. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you through step by step on everything you need to know about Conductor, and we're even going to be building a real voice agent all through this brand new feature from Retell. Okay, so we can see that Retell AI have released a brand new Conductor feature, which essentially, as I said before in the intro, is a built-in AI system that allows us to build, refine, and test our agent. Okay, so we can see inside their documents, if you want to have a review yourself, you can. It's inside their docs, but it can build and edit the agent. It can go ahead and review recent calls. It can create batch testers. It can refine your settings, configurations, all right? And all of this is done with a single prompt and a single text prompt in plain English, okay? So that's essentially what the whole Conductor is. But enough talking, let's actually get into Retell so you can kind of see, and I'll give you a real demo here. Okay, so you can see I'm in my Retell dashboard right now. So if I come up to the top and I click Create Voice Agent, right? And by the way, this does work in both single prompt and conversational flow, which is what I'm going to show you. But let me just show you a quick demo of single prompt, right? So, for example, if you come up to the top right here, you've got Conductor, and this is where you can see the entire, chat. So it's essentially kind of like a little bit of a inbuilt Claude Code chat that has full access to your entire account, okay? So for example, I can just ask Conductor to make me a voice agent right now, right? So I'll just say, hey, Conductor, I want you to make a voice agent for Deep Clean Company that will book appointments inside my cal.com account. So book appointments, check availability, and also answer any questions from the knowledge base. It needs to collect first name, last name, email, and phone number. And the prices for the services will be $90 for a standing clean, $120 for a deep clean, and $200 for a full house clean. Okay. And that's the agent I want you to build. So again, just plain English right there, and I can just say, hey, go ahead and build that, right? Now what I can do is I can come over to cal.com and I can get my configurations. As you can see, I was just testing it out before. But for example, I can just get my event type ID up here, come up to the top, and I can put in ID. This is an example of how you might build with Conductor, but the real main use case is actually testing and refining, because it has access to call logs. It has access to your configurations, and you don't need to configure all these different things about your agent, right? So this is just another tool for us to build and ship agents faster, okay? So if we come here, we go test, create, and then we can just do API key, right? So now what it's going to do is it's going to spin up Conductor, and it's going to just read our prompt, and it's going to be able to build our entire voice agent. So it's going to be able to build the prompt, all the configurations up here, anything alongside the tools, functions, knowledge bases, speech settings, etc. So let me come back to you once the agent has dropped a little bit of a proposal, and then we're going to create some simulation tests as well. And then we're going to dive into how it can customize how it can customize conversational flow agents, etc. Okay, so before I plan, it's going to go through some of these things and just do the knowledge base will be inside the prompt, so don't worry about that for now. The time zone will be Australia/Brisbane. Okay, and this is an inbound call. So just asking us a few questions, of course, because this is a demo. All right, it's going to ask us some questions because this is designed for like production grade agents, okay? But with that being said, it's going to go ahead and create the plan, all right? And what's really special about this agent is it doesn't actually automatically create anything for us. It creates plans and it proposes the changes so we can review them, okay? And this is going to be really useful for when you already have agents up and you can get Conductor to analyze certain things about the call, the structure of your voice agent, all right? And it can make tests and it can make refinements as well, which is really, really cool because I've been testing this on clients and my voice agents that I've built, and it's found things that I would never have thought of, okay? So we can see it's gone ahead and written the plan. Let's open it up. So you can see we've got Deep Clean Company, inbound booking agent. Business context, we've got objectives, exit conditions, compliance and safety. So again, it's trained on production grade agents, okay? Services, so this is just going to be in the prompt. Data integration, so first name, last name, email. Okay. We have external tools, so check availability, book appointment, and call. That's all good. Edge case and handling. Okay. So it's creating edge cases for different scenarios. So requested time unavailable. It creates alternative times. All these different stuff. And then really what's cool here is it even creates a call diagram for us, which is super cool. So we can actually see the flow of the agent, right? Which is really nice. All right. So we've got all your even global behaviors as well and agent settings. All right. So you can just go ahead and execute plan. And what it's going to do is it's going to write out our prompt. It's going to configure all of the settings up here, why the functions, everything. Okay. So let me go ahead and just wait till this is finished and I can show you what the full result looks like. Okay, so you can see this is what it looks like after the plan has been executed. So essentially, back to what I was saying before, is it makes proposals. And then from there, we can go ahead and review them and change them. So up the top, agent name right here, right? So we can see if we click that, it's going to change, right? Global settings, which is up here, which is GPT-5. So we can see if we click view, that's going to show us what it's going to change. And then if we do view current, again, nothing is changing at the moment, right? Function, so we can see view current is none, right? Or just end call. And then if we go ahead and click that, we can see the functions, right? So the same thing, speak up to silence, begin message down here. Okay, so we can see it's highlighting all the changes inside our agent. So if we just go ahead and click submit, it's going to process the entire agent and the plan, right? So now what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and test them, okay? So we can use the simulation test right here and we can test them, all right? So we come here, we could do, hey, Conductor, I now want you to test the agent and notify me of any problems, okay? Please, using the simulation function. So, for example, I can just do something like that. Of course, it's going to pass pretty easily, but you can see it's going to be using these batch test history and batch test use cases so it can test the entire agent, all right? So again, it's just going to write all the test ages for each of the conversational aspects. So booking in appointments, checking availability, and searching up knowledge-based information, for example, okay? But as you build production grade agents, this can get a lot longer, okay? So you can see it's going to simulate the test right now. We can just wait for it to work. But yeah, the whole point of this agent is to mainly on the testing and refining side, which is what I'm going to show you a little bit later after you just get a general demo of it working. But we're also going to jump into the conversational flow aspect of the agent, so you can kind of see what's working, what's not working. And then I'll actually show you how you can make some changes. So we can see that was pretty quick. If we come into the simulation, we can see that it's ran those batch tested. So it's test out of scope question, okay? You can see you were deep cleaning, asked whether they're eco-friendly, pricing, all right, requested slot open. So again, it's just created some test use cases. So let's actually see, we've got one failed right here, 3 out of 4 passed, okay? So request slot taken, it offered a alternative, it was out of scope. Okay, the pricing question then declined, and then the happy path actually failed, right? This is one failure that is a real minor issue, not an evaluator misjudgment. So the prompt says 4.2, after collecting the email, read the email back and confirm, okay? In the transcript, the agent skipped that. It took the email, moved straight to the phone number, and only repeated the email once in the final booking summary. So the email does not get spoken before the booking, but not as the dedicated readback as the prompt calls. For that matter, a voice agent, emails are very easily to mistranscribe. Everything else is solid, right? So now what we can do is it's going to say, want me to tie it in step 4.2 so the real email reads back, okay? And we'll say, yes. So can you please make those changes and then run another test to verify that? Again, this is actually perfect. I thought it was going to work all smoothly, but you guys can kind of see how it's able to identify what has failed and then go ahead and analyze the transcript on why, and then make changes and test it again. So this is really, really cool, a cool feature from them. Okay. So we can see it's going to make changes on the global prompt. So if we come down, we can see that it's making changes in this section, accept, submit, and then it's going to run some more batch testers. But you guys can get a good idea on how Conductor is really working. All right. Okay, so you can see that it's running the full batch tests at the moment. So it's gone ahead and made the change to the prompt, and now it's running all the batch tests just to confirm everything. Okay. So now we can see that all of the tests are now done and all 4 of them pass. So that's just a quick demo of how you can do that through single prompt agents. Okay, so this is an example right here of a conversational flow agent. Now, what we can do through the Conductor is we can just say test edge cases and fix the agent, or review recent calls and update the agent. So we're just going to click on that one, and we can see that the process is going to be very similar for the conversational agent. It's just going to change certain stuff about the nodes, etc. Okay. But this agent won't actually work. I don't think I've got any live tool calls or functions hooked up to it. Okay. So again, you can see it's going to inspect all the nodes. It's inspecting everything. So again, it's a little bit different than the single prompt agent, but it's very, very similar. So you can see it's launched some subtasks. So first of all, it understood the agent, okay? And it's now understood the booking criteria and flow, okay? So now it's mapped the full flow, all right? And it's gone ahead and completed a full static review of the flow, and here's what it's found, okay? So you can see it's in San Francisco. There's suspected bugs and edge cases, okay? And then you can also create a test suite. So it's drafted 8 test cases running a batch build per run. Okay, so it's just going to wait for my go ahead. So you can see it's quite similar in terms of the conversational flow agent. All right, but I'm not going to run these batch tests for now. Again, it's the exact same thing that I just showed you in the single prompt agent. The only difference is it's just going to make changes to the specific nodes, right? Unlike the overall prompt and agent configurations as well. Okay. Okay, so just to show you a little bit about what the changes are, so you can see that it's gone ahead and created the test cases for this, and 2 changes already proposed for your review. All right, the time zone fix, okay, and then you can see right here, it's going to go ahead in the node and we can change it, right? So if you go ahead and see this, you can see this is the change that the agent's going to make for this particular node. So again, it's going to update the billing, okay, and we can apply it. It can update different nodes in here. So you can see it's going to change the time zone and make changes for that. Okay. And the same thing for that one. Let's go ahead and see here. So again, it's just making changes on the time zone as well. So again, it can identify certain aspects of the voice agent and make changes on top of that. That's going to be it for this video. Feel free to go ahead and try out Conductor for yourself. It's going to be a great way to build, test, and refine your agents. But without further ado, I'll see you in the next one.